In a rare emotional moment, Dakota Johnson suddenly broke her silence on the most sensitive topic of her life, the biological father of her secret child that she has never publicly revealed. This unexpected admission caused a stir in the Hollywood media, and the fan community froze for a few seconds because they could not believe what they heard. "Glowing star, I kept it a secret for too long," Dakota choked. In a special behind-the-scenes conversation, Dakota appeared calm, but her eyes reflected a more complicated story. She said slowly, "I think it's time to say everything. I don't want my child to grow up in rumors." A short sentence, but enough to make the interview crew speechless. Fearful face. The most surprising information, the man mentioned is none other than. Fans immediately jumped into speculation, and the signs Dakota gave only made things more chaotic. She hinted that he was someone who had worked with her on a big project, someone whose chemistry was unmistakable. Of course, the name that was mentioned the most was Jamie Dornan, the co-star who made the world go crazy with Dakota through the hit movie. Dakota did not say it directly, but the details she described made netizens' hair stand on end, because they were so similar. Fire fans went crazy. Every piece fits. Just a few minutes after Dakota shared her story, social media exploded. "I knew it. It turns out it wasn't a rumor. If it was Jamie, this would really blow up Hollywood. Dakota talks like she's telling a secret that's been around for years." Hashtags #Dakota reveal and #who is the father climbed to the top after just 40 minutes. Heartbreak. Dakota admits, "We were so close." What shocked fans even more was when she added, "Everything was beautiful, but it was also stressful. We chose to stay silent because we were afraid of affecting each other." This confession made fans even more convinced that the story between Dakota and the secret man was deeper than any previous rumors. Tornado. The truth is still open, but Dakota has opened the first door. Although she did not directly name him, what Dakota shared was enough to create an earthquake in Hollywood. No one knows if she will continue to reveal more or not, but today's words alone were enough to make the entire fan community stunned and eagerly await the sequel. Dakota Johnson and the fateful decision. Why did she keep her baby's father a secret? After the first explosion that shocked fans, Dakota Johnson continued to share things that had never been revealed before. She admitted that keeping the identity of her child's biological father a secret was one of the painful but necessary decisions in her life. Crescent moon. I didn't want my child to be hurt just because of our fame. Dakota explained that the pressure of Hollywood media can sometimes crush a family, especially a child who is not yet aware of the situation. "I've seen many children grow up in the spotlight, and I don't want that to happen to my child." When she said this, fans were even more convinced that the secret man was not a stranger, but the person who had stood next to her in hundreds of interviews and red carpets. Dove. Dakota talks about the relationship that is both beautiful and dangerous. She described the relationship with that man as an uncontrollable wind. "We were very close, we understood each other very well, but everything was too bright, too big, too difficult to control." The online community immediately thought of one person: Jamie Dornan. Not because the fans were stubborn, but because Dakota described everything just like the years promoting 50 Shades, where the two always looked at each other with eyes that fans called, "not for co-stars." Collision. Dakota revealed the moment that made her decide to keep silent. She said that when she found out she was pregnant, she went through a period of confusion. "He asked me a question that I will always remember. Are you sure you want to go into this storm? I couldn't answer." That sentence was enough for the listener to feel the anxiety, but also the deep affection between them. Cloud with rain. Did they ever plan to go public, but then give up? A source close to Dakota said that there was a time when the two were close to announcing their real relationship, but Hollywood was too chaotic at the time, and the two were surrounded by huge contracts. pressure from the studio, news-mongering media, and another relationship that was tying that man down. All of which matched Jamie Dornan's situation at the time. Fans immediately connected the events, and the picture of pressure that Dakota described made everyone shudder because it all matched so well. Fire Dakota affirmed, "I don't regret it, but I was very much in love." She ended the sharing session with a sentence that made fans choke up. "I was in love, in a way that even now when I look at my child, I still see the shadow of that person in his eyes." This statement was like a lightning bolt to the fan community, because it suggested that the relationship was not just a passing thing, but an important part of Dakota's life. How did that man react when he heard Dakota's confession? Shortly after Dakota's sharing went viral, an insider confirmed that the man who is believed to be the baby's biological father knew everything. And his reaction made things even more chaotic. High voltage, he was speechless, and left the meeting room immediately. The source said that the man was in an important meeting when he received the news that Dakota had just revealed the shocking truth. He was silent for 20 seconds. No one understood what happened. Then he suddenly stood up and walked out. This made everyone around extremely confused. It was not difficult for fans to guess who that person was, because that strong reaction was completely similar to Jamie Dornan, who has repeatedly shown sensitivity when mentioning Dakota. Collision, he called Dakota, and it was tense. According to a source close to the call, just 40 minutes after leaving the meeting, the mysterious man called Dakota. No one knows exactly what was said, but a crew member described. His voice was shaking, angry, and hurt. They were both silent for a long time, then suddenly raised their voices. The call lasted 12 minutes, and when it ended, Dakota was seen wiping away tears. Speech balloon. One sentence from him made Dakota collapse. During the conversation with relatives after the call, Dakota exclaimed, "He said, I shouldn't have endured this alone." That sentence made everyone around choke up, because it not only expressed blame, but also his own pain. Crescent moon. The reason why he was so shocked. The source said that the man had wanted to ask Dakota something many times but did not have the courage. He was always suspicious, but out of respect for Dakota, he did not dare to dig deeper. He had felt something was different. The way Dakota became more secretive. Her mood swings for a while. A few moments when Dakota avoided his gaze. All those pieces now make him feel pain because he missed out. Fire, he wants to see the baby, and here is the shocking highlight. During the call, he said something that Dakota could not immediately answer. "If the baby is ours, I need to see the baby." Fans immediately went crazy with this statement. A series of comments appeared. "Oh my God, this is the climax. If it was Jamie, this would be the drama of the century. I can't take it anymore, please tell me the sequel." The hashtag he wants to see the child climbed to the top of social media in just 2 hours. Fateful encounter, he faced the baby for the first time. After the tearful call, Dakota took nearly 2 days to calm down. But what she didn't expect was that the man flew to see her immediately, without warning. Airplane, he appeared in front of Dakota's house, no bodyguards, no team following. A witness who lives in the same building said, "He came alone, wearing a hat, a mask, but his eyes couldn't be hidden." When Dakota opened the door, she stood still. So did he. No greeting, no smile, just a heavy truth hanging in the air. Cloud with rain. Dakota trembled. "You came here, for real?" The man replied hoarsely, "You have to hear it from me, not through an interview." Dakota lowered her head, her hands clasped together in worry. She knew this moment would come, but she didn't expect it to come so soon. Growing heart. The child appeared, and the silence made everyone's hearts tighten. A small footstep sounded behind. The child, about 2 years old, looked out curiously, his big round eyes shining with an unusual innocence. The man turned around. And he stood there, stunned. No one said anything for 15 seconds. Dakota almost wanted to kneel down from the tension. Finally, he let out a shaky breath. These eyes look so much like yours. Dakota couldn't hold back the tears. Loudly crying, he stepped closer, but didn't dare touch the child. He knelt down, placing his hands on his knees but still keeping his distance. "Hello, baby. Dad, sorry I'm late." His voice almost choked. Dakota put his hand to his mouth, trying not to cry. The child looked at him, tilted his head, then reached out to gently touch his face, as if by instinct. That moment was like a sweet knife that made him unable to stand still. High-voltage Dakota admitted the truth she had hidden all this time. She trembled and said, "I wanted to tell you many times. But I was afraid of the media, afraid of pressure, afraid of ruining your life. I thought keeping silent was the way to protect you." He stood up, looked straight into Dakota's eyes that were both painful and loving. "Protecting you? What about me? What about the child?" That sentence broke all the defenses Dakota had tried to build. She burst into tears. He stopped thinking, he pulled her into his arms. "Fire, a shocking decision. We're not hiding anymore." After they both calmed down, he said something that stunned Dakota. "I want to take responsibility. I want to be with the baby. And if you let me, I want to be with you." Dakota could hardly believe her ears. "Are you sure? This is going to be a big scandal." He looked at her, his eyes unusually determined. "I don't care anymore. You've been alone for too long." Dakota burst into tears again, but this time, it was relief.